Hi there, Theresa here from theresamonro.com, and I'm here with my friend Red, who we normally are discussing questions like this outside of filming, but I thought it'd be fun that you guys might like to listen to some of these topics. If you find it interesting, be sure to give it a thumbs up, comment down below, especially if you want to hear elongation of certain topics and that sort of thing. Feel free to share it with other people that you think might be interested. So anyway, getting into it, I thought I'd introduce you my friend Red, who's going to ask me some questions. So yeah, we were talking about health a minute ago. What did you want to ask? It's been interesting. These energies are so different in 2025.
There's a lot of information coming out about many good things that are on the horizon.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those good things is how we will learn to heal ourselves and each other.
Yes.
Can you talk about that?
Yes. And it's funny how every time we talk, the question changes. They're like all different questions when we're talking about this. But in terms of health, ultimately what the masters would like to say, and that's who I am a messenger for, the Ascended Masters and the Angels. So every time he answers a question, there's like a bubble of information and different masters come forward and are answering things. So anyway, one of the questions he's talking about is health. And one of the things that the masters would like to say about the health is that we are getting into a place where we will have no disease on the planet. So some people are talking about healing technology, which is very much so an Atlantean thing, and sometimes people need that to heal. There's a lot of other stories that are going to be told about healing that's happening as well, like El Moria it has been designated as the Manu, and the Manu is one of the ones, he carries all the divine blueprints for perfect health in human form. So he's going to come into human form again and reincarnate. And he's going to be, his main job will be eradicating disease on the planet altogether. So are we going to be practicing healing ourselves in the meantime? Yes. There's all kinds of things. We will be playing with light in very positive ways moving forward. Healing ourselves and each other will also be always part of that. But yes, we are going to be coming into a period where we have no disease at all on the planet. It's just a matter of time before we get there. So, but it's been interesting to watch him over the past few years, checking in on him when he's studying energy and he's studying healing, and how to make that happen while in human form to eradicate disease, because it's really all just frequency anyway. So, but yes, we'll be practicing a multitude of different ways how to heal, for sure. So, okay. Yeah.
Will there be an end to war, homelessness, poverty, hunger, and human abuse?
Yes, those were all temporary agendas and temporary kind of platforms, if you will, that were never meant to be here. They were never here originally. So the vibration's too high for it. I've been watching it where people have been attempting, but it gets thwarted. And anybody that you know that works in the energy side that can see both sides of things can also show that as well. But yes, there's major solutions, especially the more we're more positive, and we're more love focused. There's a lot more joy this year, a lot more people's dreams coming true this year in 2025. There's, that includes, because the earth is no longer going to be a school anymore, learning those lower level things, even though it's more advanced souls that choose to do those sorts of things in terms of like homelessness or addiction, there's not a need for it anymore. It doesn't serve the collective. The earth is no longer going to be a school and has declared that, but also things like homelessness will be cleared up. There's been times that it's been cleared up beforehand, and there's whole countries that don't have it now. So it's just, as planetary wide, that will also become what we end up having as well. So it's just, those are vibrational things that don't need to be experienced, and they weren't here in the beginning anyway. So yeah. Does that answer your question? Did you have more questions about that?
Yes.
Okay. Yes to what? Yes, you have more questions, or yes, I answered it?
Yes, I have more questions.
Okay.
Do the Pleiadians and Arcturians have the technology to cleanse the earth of pollution.
Yes, and we do as well. There was an edict that went out, a petition that went out, which is basically there were enough people on planet Earth asking the heavens, asking God, asking the ascended masters, which are the same as saints, for clearing up pollution and solutions to that. Part of what they did was call in things from other planetary systems to come and clear the pollution. One of the things that's important to make that happen is to envision our oceans completely clean. Envision things the way that you want to have that, because it's very, very, people have a lot more power than they realize in terms of envisioning powerful things. Envisioning other things, there's no power in that, and it's not permitted for where we're headed. So to have people feeling more empowered with their envisioning and their healing abilities, it's about making sure you envision things the way that you want it, and anything that's not in alignment with it will disappear. So that's one of the things you can pray over, do the world healing, join one of my world healing workshops, and I'd be happy to teach you how to do some of the same, especially with your envisioning. So yes, we're coming into a time where we don't have pollution, so it's already started. That was more last summer when those petitions went out, and a lot of the heavenly responses started, and a lot of the things showed up from other systems that have things that know how to clear it. And of course, getting it at its source is important. That's something else, is people are not resonating with products that create a lot of those problems, or people that have businesses like that are looking for other solutions for it. It's already started, and those ideas, as we cleared a lot of the thoughts and the emotions in 2024, in previous timelines all through 2024, that's basically where we're headed. And it may not feel like that, but that's where we're headed. So yeah, that's what the heavens do. They watch over these things. There's whole councils of light that watch these things. So yeah.
Is the earth being cleansed of evil and evil people?
Yes. The earth is being cleansed in general, but particularly where the focus isn't on cleansing them. The focus is on having light. It's the earth no longer wishes to be a school, and has declared so, and did so last year. And a lot of people could actually feel that. And the earth said, we're not here for that anymore. We are rejoining the rest of the universe, because it's one of the only planets that took a dip and then came back up. And the rest of the universe doesn't have to, it doesn't have to do that anymore. So it doesn't have to experience that. It's one of the only ones that's gone all the way down and then come all the way back up. And then the other ones get to learn from that and look at the lessons and be like, okay, we don't have to do that either. But I can't remember the rest of your questions. So there was one more. Ask that question again, because there was more to it, and they went into a segue with it. So
is the earth being cleansed of evil?
Yes, of evil. Yeah. So what's really happening is we're raising in vibration, but in terms of cleansing negativity out, yes, because it was never here at the beginning. It was not in the universe at all in the beginning. So it was not ever meant to stay. It was meant to be here temporarily, with the option to turn to the light and become that way. And so now we're at basically the very, very tail end of cleansing foundations and heading back into golden age stuff, which will stay in permanently. But yes, naturally, by the vibrations, that anything negative that is choosing to stay that way, yes, it's being cleansed. So to answer your question, it's not focused on like getting rid, it's more on we're headed towards the light. That's where our focus is. And you can see that because one of the edicts that went out and one of the major petitions was, especially in September, October, focus on your golden bubbles and seeing everything in golden light, not in the warfare piece. Because when your vibration is high, the warfare can't really touch it. And that's where the rest of the world is really headed. So that's why I've done videos on the golden bubbles and things like that. So if you'd like those links, mention that down below, and I'll make those videos more public. They're on my email list, which you can sign up for down below in the description box. But yes, there are things that are naturally happening, and everything in creation's been offered at choice point between started in 2022, but really got strict with it 23 and 24. And so things got to choose. We're given full options. Doesn't matter what your frequency was or what you were, what you originally were. Doesn't matter how dark. Everything was given an option. And everything of the light said, okay, maybe we'll assist. And the Ascended Masters were working tremendously with that. So you can tell that we've changed a lot because we hit the stronghold on, what day was it? The 2nd or 3rd of December. The stronghold went back towards God instead of, from the fall of Lemuria to now, there was a bit of a stronghold struggle. Now it is permanently in the hands of God. And then the 14th, an edict went out and around whether or not anything had any power whatsoever to attack other individuals and that sort of thing. So that stuff has changed. It's not so very public. And then there was also a review on the 31st of December for the Karmic Board, reviewing everybody's wishes on the planets and what they wanted, created new petitions. And there was a review for the vibrations of the planet and the people on it. And it's amazing because we now have 3 Ascended Masters that have graduated assisting in a certain way that that are sitting on the Intergalactic Council, because there's different councils of light. 3 have shifted into a new position and 3 more are stepping up. So we've got some stuff that's shifting, and that's a sign that because the vibrations are so high and we're able to introduce new leadership that included the Ascended Masters. So the Ascended Masters, known as saints, also have shifted into different positions. They're also learning and expanding as well. As much as they've mastered a certain ray of light, they're also assisting other masters and their rays of light as well. So like Jesus is working more with the pink ray of light. He was working with blue, but he's assigned to gold or yellow. So if you understand what those are, that's something that I teach about. That's all the Christ light is the gold light, and the different rays of light come directly from God. So that's the wisdom that I was born with. So yeah, what that means, what the rays of light do, how they represent God's an aspect of God, and the different Ascended Masters that are assigned and the angels assigned, and how to use that for healing. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Yeah?
Yes. You mentioned that Earth is no longer a school.
Yes.
So we have been here to learn and evolve, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, we have been here to learn and evolve. It's all about having the option to experience God form in physicality. And there's different universes that were built for those experiences and those plans. And so that was one of the things that we decided to do. And it's about becoming a physical Ascended Master and a master of the aspects of God. So it's in different systems and different planetary systems, different universes. It can be different, but here we're officially like in the golden age, out of the heavier vibrations and doing so. I think it was Kutumi that was stating it was the exact same thing as, like, I think the Pleiades did it in 200 to 300 years. We're doing in under 20. Originally, it was supposed to be 2012 to 2032. We're doing it even faster. So with our ascension. So basically this year is more energy. Last year, 23, I mean, it's a lot to go through, but 25, we have a lot more joy. We have a lot more things that we are getting to work on, getting to do, dreams coming true. 24 felt more physical because the ascension had been completed in the other realms in terms of clearing out lower realms, which is a story that you can check on my other video about clearing the astral realms or the astral realms collapsing. So anyway, since that happened, it made the 24 ascension very, very physical because the only thing that had to be cleared was stuff that was on the physical plane. At the time when the masters were telling me about that, I was like, okay, so I guess the ascension is going to become very physical. And it did. People that normally didn't pick up on that did. And now in 25, it's a whole different vibration. And we have a lot more changing and sponsorship and that sort of thing. But we have a lot more joy, a lot more hope, lighter vibrations, and we're able to have our dreams come true this year. So that's the goal of 25. We're also going to see some bumpy stuff and foundations, but it's easier to focus now on the positivity than ever before, to be quite honest. So yeah, but some people I've also seen, for me, it's a relief. 2025 feels like a relief. But I have seen some people that have come by that have mentioned that it's not a relief at the beginning part of the year. I've seen some clients that are finding it a little bit bumpy. But for me, because I could feel all those other realms and was working in those other realms, and now I get a break from that, it's more palpable this year. Like, it was more talked about last year by the masters, but yeah. So yeah, does that answer your question? Yes. Okay, good.
So we are well on the road to peace on earth.
Yes, 100% we are. Yep. It's officially, I mean, peace has always been available to us energetically, but it was here, let me see. It was here officially latter part of last year, but 2024 still had its own vibration. And then in 2025 with those particular vibrations, it was just, we officially, with the seventh seal, the seventh veil breaking in, when is that? In March, you will feel the most peace. And we're going to stay in the era of peace. So that's where we're headed. We'll never have to experience any level of dissension again. So, not this universe. So
we can all be at peace knowing that we are also on the road to a new life in a new world.
There is a new life and a new world. You're already in it. So peace is a choice. Joy is a choice. It's a vibration, no matter what's happening to you. So some people are waiting for a certain situation to feel peace, but you can feel peace at any given time. It's a choice. That's a mastery lesson, though. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Do you have more questions about that? But also, will it feel more peaceful because, you know, we don't have war, we don't have homelessness, stuff like that that's coming? Yes. Because we have more community, we have more people working together. Yes, you're naturally going to feel more peaceful. But the mastery situation is when you can find peace amongst the chaos. Because I remember, like, being on the boat with Jesus when he could calm the seas, but he was able to find peace on the boat due to his faith in God. He knew that he would be able to calm the elementals. So those sorts of situations, you can find peace in your situation regardless. It's just a choice. So does that make more sense? Because he got a little bit frustrated in that story on the boat because he was telling them, hey, you know, stay calm. You have God. You have me here. You guys have been taught to control elementals. You've been taught how to control the waters, how to remain calm. But the disciples got a little bit upset. So anyway, you can choose peace in any situation. Even, you know, and that's one of the things too is, and we practice it here, is like the weather and the weather being more calm and those sorts of things. So we push away hurricanes and stuff like that all the time here and bring out more sunshine. That's something that people have the natural ability to do. And that's some of the stuff that we'll be remembering more of in the future. So you don't have to wait for a certain event to find peace.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yes.
That's what they want to say is, will it be peaceful when that happens? Yes, but don't wait until then to feel at peace.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yes.
Because the concentration isn't on the war anymore. The concentration is on, like, feeling the golden light of Christ. Mm. So that's where the focus is. Okay. Not to bypass. There is an awareness, but where's your focus? Yeah? Okay.
Yes. Obviously, you remember all your past lives. Will we remember our past lives as we learn more about our gifts and abilities and raise our frequencies?
It will come in time. Yeah. It's when the individual's ready for that, because you're still in human form, and the soul and God and the masters want to make sure people can handle that information and want to know what you would do with that information. and that you're going to follow spiritual law. Eventually, it will always be like that, but there's a transition period where we're headed into knowing what that's going to be and what that's like. What are you going to do with it? Why do you want to know? Do you have any lessons left where not knowing that would help you? That sort of stuff. There's a transition. There's also still, when people didn't know, there was still protection around why. Not that that individual necessarily couldn't understand it or handle it, but it would be more or less because sometimes it was just protection, and you don't need energetic harassment from other things that don't need to know who you are or who you were. And you have the right to keep that private. You get to share that if you want to share that. In the future, we're going to be at a point where everybody kind of knows everything, but there's a respect for privacy, so you don't go looking for stuff if you don't have a need to know. But one of the things that the Arcturians have shown that they're planning on doing is they have technology so that, and this could end up happening this year, so they're due to have more contact this year. So because they're, you know, a lot with the Pleiadians with that as well. But they have technology to show, and you can look up any given time that you want to around your past life, see if dinosaurs were real and what they looked like. Go see what Atlantis looked like. Like, you can view it without affecting the past times by viewing it or being in it. So if that makes sense, but we're coming into a time where we can see all of our past lives. Yes, but there's still a need to know for a lot of that, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So, but there will be technology where you get to learn all of that. And the vibration will be in such a place where people are not going to react in a, ooh, they're going to freak out if they knew that kind of manner. The vibration's too high. There's been a lot of, healing around that, thoughts, timelines, those sorts of things, where people are really ready for the information. It's not something where they're required to, be prepped in a huge way. People are ready. The heavens can feel the pressure of wanting to know more, and it's coming. There's not necessarily a veil, but something close to it in terms of people are not panicking when they hear certain things.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yes.
So,
yes. Yeah. Is love really the most powerful force in the universe?
God is the most powerful force in the universe, but one of the God's expressions is love.
Yes.
So one of the things is being able to hold that vibration is the greatest form of protection. One of the greatest things that we get to do is express love and give love. So that's why, like, the teachings of Jesus were always through love and through the eyes of love. So there's still some tweaking around the beliefs with that and what that means, but love is a very powerful force here. So, for sure.
So, love and light are in the process of overcoming everything else negative.
Overcoming is an interesting word. Is that how you want to word that? Because that's got a subconscious belief.
Replacing? No.
It doesn't quite work like that.
It's
okay. It's like a mechanics class, like it's a physics class. I'm like, well, I'm trying to get to the heart of your question. So are you saying that, I think what you're trying to ask is, we're stepping into a period of a lot more light, and the answer is yes.
Okay, where light and love will be more powerful than anything else. No.
You're saying would, as if that's not a truth now.
No, are already in process of. No.
So here's what's going on. You're asking questions based off of your subconscious beliefs.
Okay.
So you could stand to work to know that love has always been more powerful than anything else in the universe, and has always existed here within the universe.
Yes.
There was anything that was more powerful than that. So you've got a subconscious belief that there were things that were more powerful than. Nope, it's subconscious. You're conscious. Because of the way you worded that question just now, you definitely just worded it in a way. So love has always been number one. God has always been number one. It's kind of a complicated thing, but when it comes to the mechanics of that, you're really asking me, are we stepping into a period of full light and nothing but light? And the answer is yes. We're in the age of Aquarius. We are in the golden age 100% already. Okay. We're there. We hit it in 2024.
Then we have many, many things to learn, don't we?
We always do.
Yes.
God is infinite, so the lessons are infinite.
Yes, about our subconscious and a lot of other things.
Yes, but it's so much bigger than being human or what your subconscious is. It's so much bigger than that.
Okay.
You have a lot more than that. And I feel like it's more remembering because you carry a lot of wisdom. And I can see how far back you've carried that wisdom and it being activated now. So it's just a matter of time before, you know, you get to remember that and share that more publicly. We've talked a little bit offline about that. So, because you carry some very, very special vibrations with you of very, very, very old times. And you get to share a lot of that and express a lot of that. It's important because you've got, like, one of the vibrations you carry is I've only seen it on like inner earth type stuff. I haven't seen it on other human beings very often. So yeah, you've got a unique combination. It's just expressing that and not, you know, and getting comfortable with that. So it's remembering and having that and getting to express it and having somebody else like actually see that in you. That's a lot of us when we're going to be remembering our past lives and remembering whether or not, like, how powerful we are and things like that. There's going to be things where we end up, it may take a minute of being in awe of ourselves. You know, it takes a minute, you know. For me, it's exciting because as somebody who came into life being awakened, I didn't have an awakening. I remembered everything. You know, it's nice for me to be able to provide that for others and being around other people who have that. Mm-hmm. And so when I meet people, I can see that with them. So, which is cool. It's fun to see their jobs on the other side. That since late October has been starting to be more, it's been expressed more. It's coming out more. And then I get to see them do their really cool jobs while they're in earthly bodies. It's pretty rad. So I like it. I get to see it. I'm like, oh, God's doing cool things, you know? So, yeah.
All right. Will we have increased levels of intelligence, intellect, intuition, and understanding?
Yes.
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 There's more remembering. It'll be more normal to have higher intelligence and that sort of thing because it's going to be required, and that's part of the new, like the Manu and the new root race that's about to be born. So that's coming. So
will we learn how to shed our fears, doubts, and anxieties about things?
Yeah, a lot of that has already happened. It's more realizing that your thoughts and your fears have already changed. The vibration's really too high for a lot of that to happen anyway. The vibration's too high for fear. It will cancel that out very, very quickly. So there are certain people that still feel that. That's their choice. You have a choice to feel something different. If you're feeling a certain emotion, usually that's a sign to head in a different direction. So, and you need to turn in, talk to God, turn to the saints, to the masters, whoever it is that you go to internally for inner guidance, because there's also some people this year that are up leveling and they're needing to talk to somebody that's of a higher vibration for them to be able to see that. But it's going to be fun. We're going to see some people that step up in terms of, helping other people up level and things like that. So, and remember, the remembering is naturally going to happen, but for now, it's still fun to be able to help people remember those times and be like, oh, hi. Yeah, you've got that vibration and that vibration with you. Like, it's fun to be able to do that for people. But the time is coming where people get to do that, like, across the planet. It's already started. So, but yeah.
Okay. Is Mother Earth alive, and does she have a consciousness?
She does, and she is. And remember when I told you like a few minutes ago that she's choosing to not be a school any longer. It's where we're raising back in vibration. So her choosing that means that she has a consciousness, just as like the cells in your body have consciousness. Every living thing has consciousness. So as long as it's of God and it has that God spark, then yes. So of course, and she's very wise, and you can ground into her and request assistance from her and all the things. So yeah.
And Mother Earth is also ascending, is she not?
Yes. So again, like mentioning that, like when she says she's not going to be in earthly school, that means she's going up in vibration. She's not staying in those lower vibrations anymore. It's all about being in the higher vibrations. So.
What old ways, thoughts, habits, etc. should we leave behind to help us evolve?
Anything heavy that doesn't serve you. Anything heavy. Like, if you're changing your behavior, honestly, a lot of these thoughts were already changed last year. So it's just more about how can you love yourself more? How can you, then love your neighbor more? How can you serve God more? And it's not in a self-sacrificing kind of way, because that is done. That took 2 years to clear up, and that's done. So I was just talking to somebody earlier who was talking about how they were taking things on as healing. And I'm like, that is done. If you're doing that, that's by choice at this point. And maybe they need to experience something different where they're not having to take on the energies of other people. But that isn't, those contracts are done and over with in terms of that. So anybody who's attempting to do that, it's not needed. But somebody was mentioning how they had a family member just a few minutes ago who would get drained by doing their healing work. I said, well, then they need to learn how to incorporate light in their healing, because you don't have to give your own life force to heal somebody else. It's not required. That's not what we're doing in the higher realms anymore. It's just not needed. So, yeah. Does that answer your question?
That was.
I know, yes, I'm asking you a lot. Does that answer your question?
Perfect answer.
Do you want me to? I don't need to hear if it's perfect.
And to the point. It's perfect, and a beautiful answer.
Awesome.
To love others more.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes. Yes.
I just want to make sure I'm answering your personal questions.
You are.
Okay. You can always let me know if you need me to elaborate. And remember, if you guys have questions, mention that down below. So.
Is it important to become more self-aware of ourselves in everything that we think, say, and do to maintain a good frequency?
So that is what the masters refer to as taking responsibility for your karma. That's a two-part question. So, but yes, it's naturally happening as the vibrations are rising and people are naturally more self-aware and aware of how they're affecting other people around them. That's something that we do here in Hawaii, naturally, because we're more community-based here. But that's something that's happening naturally. And it's one of the things that you can do that the Ascended Masters will say, this is what needs to be done to take responsibility of the karma you're creating, in your life. So, because the universal law, we have a butterfly up there. The universal law of reciprocity, the universal law of karma, all of that is still going to exist in the new golden age. So it's just going to be something where there are ways, and I do teach them. Get into my Violet Flame classes if you'd like to know how. Where you can balance your karma every day. So you're not creating new karma and things like that. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's part of the natural part of the process. It's already happening.
Yes.
It's just where it becomes where we're all naturally doing that and naturally aware. But one of the greatest things you can do is love yourself right now. As you're doing that and focusing on like golden bubbles and things like that, yeah, it helps.
In other words, all this stuff that you're talking about is actually going back to the natural, simple way. Yes. Because
the natural, simple way is the divine blueprint.
Our lives have been purposely complicated.
No, not purposely.
Well,
by whom? Not by God.
No.
No.
Okay.
Distractions.
But anyway, we're going back to Simple and natural.
Well, part of like what you're doing is learning to not give power to what used to be. So, and that's a normal thing that's happening on the planet, is that all these things have been healing, and there's a large number of us that are reconnecting to each other, to our hearts, to different things, to get into, you know, where we're headed as a community. And because we are coming out of a really long period, especially this lifetime over the past 8 or 9 years, of major clearing. Some people were not aware of it for that long period of time, but when you get into like the Earth's records, it looks very white. It's like bright white light, for certain people if they know what they're looking for. But you've got to be in alignment with the Ascended Masters to be able to see it at that kind of detail. But like part of what you're learning how to do is to realize like it's not about the old storyline, it's the new storyline now. So, which is something I just talked about in one of my recent emails, is the new story. So you've got a few things where you're gonna have some experience where you realize like, oh, the big light really did win. Because you remember the day that you got activated and remembered, and I told you these are the vibrations around you, and you could really feel all of that. That's when you knew you were coming out of that period of, oh, wow, okay, that's somebody sees who I really am in human form. And now you get to be that, you know?
Awesome.
That's where we're all headed. So
awesome.
I'm watching it happen. I've been watching it with people all around me ever since October. And I'm like, holy smokes. So that's your role on the other side. That's fun. So, yeah.
Cool. Is it important to stay humble as we evolve?
Yes, but humility is a tool. Like, you need to be humble. No, but there's a natural humility that comes, and I don't even think like to be humble. Yes, it's just when you feel that awe of God, awe of the presence of God, awe of looking at a flower. It's like the most beautiful thing you've ever seen in your life. It will be more of that. Mm. So it's more the original definition, if that makes sense, not the old definition. So I'm not getting into the old definition because it's heavy. So focus on the positive definition.
Yes, yes. Every soul on earth has a purpose and or a mission.
Yes.
Yes. How can people know their mission?
Follow your joy.
There you go.
And joy is an exchange with God. Your mission is directly related to God. So when you send love to God, God sends you joy. That's how joy exists. Happiness is a choice. Joy is a choice. Love is a choice. So send God love. Love yourself. Love your connection to yourself. Love your connection to God. Then you will feel joy. Joy is what will bring your purpose. Do the things that bring you joy and you will know your purpose, because your purpose may change. Some people may say, well, I want to know what it is in a career. My first question, the master's first question, is going to be like, what do you like to do? That's because it's right under your nose. So, yeah.
Okay. Should I work on my awakening process every day or take my time and let it happen naturally?
Be focused on it and be aware of it. It's up to you. This path, whether or not, this is the most expansive time we've ever had where people could all become Ascended Masters if they wanted to this lifetime. There will be many. I saw a group of 96 that were working as baby Ascended Masters, seeing how much they could handle responsibility of clearing on the planet on one of the last opportunities to do so, being overseen by masters who know how to do that and have been doing that for a very long time. And those masters get to take a back seat and be like, oh, I'm watching my babies, So, which is very much what it's like. It's an honor to watch people step up and are really ready to do some of that. Most of the earthly clearing is done though, and now it's more about going into the light and having different responsibilities, hence the switch out with the different Ascended Masters. But I don't remember your exact question though. Can you repeat it?
How important is meditation No.
No.
Wait a minute.
Different one. Meditation is important. It'll help your vibration. Oh, the speed at which you do it.
Yes.
Okay, so a lot of this is soul led. It's relation. A lot of things are involved here. God, the ascended masters, who are the saints, your guides, the karmic board especially, because it's also affecting other things here. You can do it as fast as you'd like or slow as you would like. It's just how much do you want to push yourself? Oh, look, the rays of light just came in. I love that. So there's a lot of rainbow rays, blue rays, and golden Christ rays of light. That's so fun, just as we're talking about how fast you want to ascend, like the rays of light of ascension show up. So anyway, it's up to you what it is that how fast you want to go. Everybody can become an ascended master this lifetime. How you go about doing that, that's what I do in one-on-one sessions. That's how you get on 30 Days of Light. That's how you get in the Violet Flame classes. You learn how to communicate with the Ascended Masters or remember. There's a whole process to that. We could do a whole video on that in terms of what that is. So, but for you, it's just, you're going to get guided back no matter what, even if you get like a little bit off or a little bit, I don't know anybody that's if you have an intention to be on path, you're on path right now. That's what my Divine Compass spray helps with, to keep you always on the pathway of light. But yeah, if you want it to be faster, it can be. If you feel like you're lagging, you know you're lagging. If you feel like you're doing what you need to be doing, you know you're doing what you're doing. Okay. So there can come, like with pushing, there can come a certain pressure. There's something that, there's things that are a higher level where the masters will let you know, like, okay, this is what it's going to feel like when they're really pushing you. It's like, how fast do you want to go? Okay. So.
How important is meditation?
Great. It's always like, it's very important. So meditation, it depends. Some people can do that while they're awake. Some people do that when they're in a meditative state. It's very important to do that with your vibration. So, and doing meditations that you like doing. So, because there's quite a few that you can do. There's one that Diana Cooper has from her Monadic Merge meditation, and doing those like every day or at least once a month with her monthly ones, they're amazing. So, because they keep you connected really strongly. And I love it. We have so many butterflies around here right now. So, but awesome. Yeah. Well, because those guys transform. Like you were telling me the other night about butterflies and how they have kind of two major lives. One as a worm and one as, the ascended flying, beautiful things that they are.
And I had a visitation one day from an angel in the form of a butterfly.
Oh, wow.
Who sent me a vision, who gave me a vision.
We are getting flashes of light in here. Just as you start to mention the sun's coming down, there was a flash of light on the screen. So you guys, this is funny because you're going to start to see flashes of light through here. There's a few of us that have that as a tool. That's one of the things that I have that comes through the sun. And it is the combined energy of 10,000 suns. It's something that somebody was talking about that recently. And it's not something that can hurt you in any kind of way. It's one of the things where, it's just, it clears negativity out very, very fast in seconds. So we could do a whole video on that one, but the Pleiades had me out clearing out there recently. The Earth gets flashed every single day. It's very easy to do, and it doesn't cause any harm. So yeah, the Pleiades were talking about that a lot recently, even before it was granted to a certain human being. But there's certain ways to use a flash to clear things out very fast. So yeah, that is a human gift, guys. Not everybody knows about that. So, oh, how funny. There was an angel just right here. So that's an angel. It's showing up on the camera. There's one right here. So yeah, Red can't see it, guys, but there's a lot of rays of light coming in that you guys can see. They travel through the sun, from God through all the different suns, and that's how they get here. So, and that's how they used to travel through plasma Oh, now there's two butterflies together. I love that. The angels used to travel and materialize as plasma, but it took too much energy, so they switched back to using the light of the sun. So, yeah, which is where all light is coming from. So it's funny when certain people say, oh, that's a lens flare. It's like, no, I've seen lens flares. I can show you what those look like. So, yeah.
Can you can you tell us a little bit about our third eye?
What do you want to know about the third eye?
How can we get it to open?
Okay.
And what are the benefits of it opening?
That is very, very extensive.
Yeah.
It's more so the questions the masters have is, why do you want it open? What do you want to do with it? The one thing that I can tell you about is that all of the chakras have been upgraded between 2022 and 24. So like the third chakra, which is right, above your navel, just below your heart, that third chakra is the one it used to scan for danger, and it still can, but its new job is to scan for love. And that's also a partial thing when they're talking about the different chakra upgrades that are happening. They're like, we're not going to have danger on the planet. There won't be that. It'll just be love. So it'll be scanning for it's a shift in focus for now, but it's also there will be only love on the planet, and that's what it connects with. And it brings you to the love that is most helpful for you. So, but the third eye can help you to see. But it's interesting you asked specifically about the third eye, because you have hundreds of chakras, and those are really important. The most important ones are going to be your heart and your crown, and connecting those via the throat. So, but there's certain ways to be able to do that. But the third eye is small. It works with the pineal gland. It also works with, sight and visions of the future. But in terms of clearing it, you get on 30 Days of Light with me, or I teach you a technique on how to clear it, like a scanning technique that I teach. It's the question that they're asking, on behalf of the masters, is they're like, well, why do you want to open it? And also, why was it closed? So anyway, we got to wrap it up. We're short on power. I can't tell. I think the battery is dying. Hi there. So just as we thought, the battery died on the phone as we were getting ready to finish up anyway. Just had a couple more questions. And so maybe you'll see a part 2. If you like this, be sure to comment down below. And if you have questions or comments about how things resonate for you, please let us know. It was interesting, some of the topics that we were covering as well, because it was just as the Earth's energies were getting a little volatile. So it took us a few times to film this, but it was also the same time as some of the fog was being, deployed, the fake stuff, also the fires in LA, the storms up in the north, all kinds of things were going on. So anyway, so this actually ended up touching on some of the topics that are related to that, in terms of making sure you have more faith, how there's a lot more faith in the collective now. And I was shown a little bit more this morning in terms of how that was created for the collective, by the Ascended Masters and whatnot. So anyway, if you're interested, be sure to subscribe, and you can join my email list down below if you'd like to hear more. Thanks so much. Lots of love. Bye.